Now, I also want to address the fact that on that same interview, you said something very interesting that I actually agreed with. But when it comes to reparations, there are many people, some out there that say, well, and when I say many people, I'm talking about other Black Americans, and to be more specific, freedmen, descendants of American slavery, that says, you know, I get it. We deserve it. We're entitled to it. We need it. But it's a lost cause. It's a waste of time. And
Mhm.
I remember you making the statement, and correct me if I'm wrong, on the interview with Philip Scott, where you said, that's cowardly. So can you please explain why it's cowardly? Elaborate on that, your mind frame behind that, to say it's cowardly to say that's never going to happen. We're never going to get reparations. We need to move on from that and try to figure something else out.
Well, I'm trying to think of a time in this country's history. I'm talking about from our origins as British colonies to now, where we as Black Americans have not been told that's something to which we were entitled, or that's something to which we were fighting to accomplish that we should already had, where we have not been told it ain't going to happen. If anybody reads the biography, and I always mention Harriet Tubman, that she wrote about how when she was going through escape, her own brothers told her it was never going to happen. And yet it happened. When we fought for abolition in that same era, we was told that slavery was never going to end. And even though I know people like to say, well, there's still mass incarceration and things like that, chattel slavery has ended. During the civil rights movement, which really we can argue we've been fighting for civil rights since we've been here. But during the civil rights movement, people like Fannie Lou Hamer and Martin Luther King Jr. were all told that the anti-Black legislation on the books, government sanctioned, was never going to end. And yet that legislation was done away with. Obviously, we still have many disparities as a result of that. And that brings my point now. We're now being told by some of people of my own lineage that reparations is never going to happen. And I can't help but say this sounds oh so familiar. So there's always been two types of people when it comes to Black American movements for justice. The ones that say it ain't going to happen, and the ones that say yes it is, and watch me. The funny thing is, the ones that say it ain't going to happen, when it does happen, they want to benefit from it when it does. So I say it's cowardly because it is going to happen. And when reparations happens, I guarantee you that the people who said it wasn't and their descendants are going to benefit from it. Because the funny thing is, when people say, let's come up with a waiver, and you say reparations is not going to happen, please sign it. And when it does happen, you get nothing. People always reject that proposal. So it is cowardly and it's hypocritical in many cases as well.
Now,